When we speak of the empath, of the one whose soul is woven from delicate threads of sensitivity, we are not merely describing a personality trait, but an existential condition, a psychic wound that has been transfigured into a gift. To be an empath is to live as if the walls between the self and the other have become porous, dissolving into a subtle atmosphere where one breathes not only one's own emotions, but the emotions of everyone else. Yet, to this very gift that makes you luminous, also makes you dangerous in the eyes of those who claim to love you, but in truth harbor an unconscious envy that gnaws at the foundation of the bond. And I must tell you that envy is among the darkest of the emotions, for it does not admire, nor does it simply desire, it resents. It is a poison that looks upon light and wishes either to extinguish it or to cover it with shadow, so it no longer shines. You must understand that envy in relationships is rarely conscious. Few will admit, even to themselves, that they are envious of the one they say they love. Instead, it emerges in subtle gestures, in tones of voice, in the sudden withdrawal of warmth, in the casual remark that cuts like a knife, though disguised as play. For envy is a shadow-born force, and shadows do not stride into the open. They creep, they disguise, they mask themselves behind the language of affection. Thus, those who pretend to love you may unconsciously be seeking to diminish you, to obscure the radiance of your presence, because the mirror you hold up to them reveals their own poverty of spirit, their inability to feel with the same depth, their fear of the very intimacy they claim to desire. The empath gift is not a choice. It is the destiny of one whose psychic membrane has been torn open in early life, often by pain, rejection, or abandonment. The child who grows in a household where love is conditional or absent learns to survive by tuning into every subtle shift of mood in others, for their safety depends on it. They learn to feel what others feel before those others themselves are aware of it. They learn to anticipate, to appease, to absorb, and this adaptation, forged in suffering, later appears as a radiant capacity for compassion. But here lies the paradox. What was once a survival strategy becomes both a blessing and a curse in adult life. For the empath carries an open wound that others both long to drink from and simultaneously despise, because it exposes them. Those who envy the empath do not envy wealth, nor beauty, nor accomplishment. What they envy is the soul's light, the capacity to feel truth in its raw immediacy. They envy the authenticity of one who cannot help but live in the immediacy of emotion, in the collective unconscious. There is an archetype that governs this drama. It is the archetype of the wounded healer, who by virtue of their wound can heal others, but also draws to themselves those who wish to steal that healing for themselves without ever acknowledging its cost. Such people will draw close under the guise of love. But what they truly desire is to partake of your essence, to bathe in the warmth of your sensitivity, and then, once filled, to resent you for making them aware of the emptiness within. Let us not underestimate envy. It is not simply jealousy. It is far more corrosive. Jealousy still wishes to possess. Envy wishes to destroy. If you shine too brightly, the envious one seeks to dim you, for your light reminds them of their own darkness. Thus, they will offer you love laced with subtle sabotage.